Hi, friends. Chris Kelly here. Hey, that time of the week again. Let's spend a little bit of time looking at the latest data, latest statistics, uh, and a little bit of time talking about what's going on in the world of banking and lending. I think in light of recent events, it might be worth spending a minute or two on that. So, first of all, here's the data. Um, you know, we're kind of slowly moving up, but not significantly. I mean, you can see, we actually have less new listings than this time last week. You can see the prior years were really ramping up as is typically the case cyclically coming into spring. We're still down notably from the year prior as far as actual closed sales. We're down notably, 40% from the year prior. So there's less available inventory and less activity. I mean, this is the drum I've been beating for some time. So, velocity of sales, though, it's still clipping along at a pace that was equal to 2020 at this time, which was the front end of COVID, and really still faster than it was moving. Even though there was more inventory moving in 2019, it wasn't moving in general as fast as it is now. The inventory that is moving at a faster rate than it was in 2019. Again, one of the very best markets we'd ever had prior to the craziness that was 2021 and early 22. Because of the lack of inventory, because those both have moved at a very similar rate, the average and median sales price has remained somewhat buoyed. Come back up a little bit into the low fives on the median and high fives, again approaching 6 on the average. I mean, you can see last year this time, I mean, we're not dramatically far off of this time last year. And remember, the first half of last year was still bonkers. So, you can see that in the pace of sales was still pretty darn frenetic. Even in early 21, there was still a lot of listings that were stragglers, which is why this average number was so dramatically different than the median number. So you know what? All in all, the market's clipping along. I've been explaining this to people as best I can. If you put a house on a 1 to 10 scale, the 8s through 10s always sell, and they always sell in a timely manner, and they usually get really good money. It's not to say they're all going to sell up and over list or anything like that. That can happen, but they always sell in a timely manner. The 4s through 7s usually end up selling after some price adjustment happens or some improvement happens to the property, usually price adjustment. The difference really is the 1s through 3s. They just don't sell at all. Or if they do, it's an inordinate amount of time, tons of price reduction, or they just get pulled from the market. When that market got crazy, 2021 crazy, 2022 crazy in the first half, 1s through 10s were all selling like they were 8s through 10s. And that's when I say it's just not a realistic way, that's not a realistic market dynamic. It isn't. Of course not. The 8s through 10s are the ones that should sell and should sell for the most money. They're the best properties. By the way, an 8 property can really be a 6 because it's mispriced. So, even getting a mispriced property priced correctly turns it into an 8 and it sells. It's just the best analogy that I've come up with to use with people. And it really applies all the time. 8s through 10s sold in 2009, 2010 when the market was in the doldrums. Those properties still sold. There's just less of them. So anyway, I wanted to shift gears a little bit and give a little time to what's going on. There was a bank in California that had a run on it and went under. There's actually another bank down there that had some perceived volatility, and because of that perceived volatility, their stock prices plummeted. As it is, it's a bank that I bank at, and the market is pure perception. There's interest rates in the last couple of days have plummeted a lot. I mean, they're not like they were in 22, 21, but we went from 7 or high 6s way into the 5s overnight. And that was all based on perception of the market. What has gone on in the banking sector with a bank in another state has had national reverberations, if you will, that have nothing to do directly with what happened. But the market's perception of, there's something going on, causes this cascade effect of things that in this case ultimately lead to a change in bond pricing and a change in long-term mortgage rates. Will that stay that way? Probably not. But it just goes to show the market itself is all perception, especially financial markets, the stock market, so on and so forth. There's just nothing really, it's not tangible. A house is bricks and mortar or wooden siding and framing and concrete. It's tangible. And as such, with very few notable exceptions, it doesn't tend to behave as nearly as volatile as finance market, stock market, that kind of thing. So, I've talked about the people coming in and coming out of the marketplace. My goodness, if this wasn't ever a good time to jump in, if you were considering a buy, take advantage of the rates doing what they've done while they're there. It's pretty likely that they'll come back up. I mean, job creation in February was again better than expected. I mean, there's things, and the Federal Reserve is still pretty hell-bent on doing what they're doing to get inflation numbers where they want them. So, I mean, in general terms, this was a bump in the market efforts. So, anyway, it's a crazy deal. But that just goes to show you never, a week ago, I never would have had a conversation with somebody about, hey, rates are about to go back down and drop by a point and a half. Who would have known directly that was going to happen? So anyway, just kind of wanted to speak a little bit about that. And, this is, I don't get on here to pretend I'm an expert in finance, but I listen to people who I think are, just like when I talk about national, what's going on, the comings and goings on in the national marketplace. There are people that I listen to that I consider experts. And there are certain fundamentals that I try to pay attention to so that I can come on here and articulate to you what I think's going on in our world, here in our case, Portland Metro, and what's going to happen. So, I mean, I'll attach an article. That, the long and short of it is we still have an undersupply of inventory that has been built and that is being built. And that's going to continue to contribute to an overall inventory problem. So anyway, as always, I hope this helps. I hope you find it of value. That is absolutely my goal. One public service announcement. Here next month, we're going to have an annual shred day for people that want to bring, doing some spring cleaning, want to get all their paperwork, old tax years, just whatever it is. We bring the shred truck to the office. You can come drop it by. It's free of charge. It's just a way for us to say thanks for the relationship that we have with you. So stay tuned on that. I'll attach some information to wherever this video gets posted. And if there's any questions, let me know. Again, as always, we're here to be of help. So if you know somebody that could use it, or if you have questions or could use it, we just want you to know we're here for you, you and yours. Okay? Till the next time.